very important we're going to look at a very important conversation, and that is the conversation of how to leverage Google tools for digital growth. Right. So this week, focus will be on our primary focus will be on digital tools, right, or Google tools now to be specific. So I remain my name remains Sonia Atinkomo. So I'll be fast and I'll be as slow as I can in between. So what is the goal for this class or for this session? The goal of this class is for us to understand key Google tools available, learn how each tool supports digital work and businesses, and then we're going to look at how to actually monetize these Google tools and ways to earn using Google tools. So there are in as much as we're talking about monetization, I know why I'm focusing more on the monetization over even knowing so much of the tool, because I remember that one thing we talked about the primary purpose of the project 20K is to help you earn, is to help you use digital tools or Google tools now, or any of most of the tools to be able to earn. So coming. All right. So why Google tools? I know you'll be wondering why the choice of Google tools. Why didn't Sonia come to teach web design? Why is she talking about Google tools? Now, the basic of every foundation when it comes to you being in tech is you understanding how Google tools work, because Google tools are broken down into many categories that does almost everything. So starting from somebody who has zero knowledge of what Google tools is for a beginner, we have from the beginners aspect and we have from the also to the advanced aspect, that's for developers. And the beauty of Google tools is it's usually free. Most of the tools are free. For example, Google gives you Google Meet for 1 hour. Before this class, I tried to subscribe, but I think Google had some new updates and they're telling me they will have to verify my card after 48 hours. Just now, when I tried to pay to get an advanced Google Meet. So, but most of these tools are not expensive. They are low cost or almost free. Google gives 15 gig free data storage now for you to store things, and when you want to actually advance, I think you spend from about 2,000 monthly or so. Now, another beauty of Google tools is it is cloud based. Now, this is why I said from the beginning of this class or from the beginning of this session that whether you have a laptop or not is not going to stop you from being part of this class or earning online. Why? Because Google tools are basically cloud based and they can be accessible through your laptops, accessible through your phones, through your iPads. As long as you have a browser, you'll be able to access most Google tools to use. And then Google tools are built in such a way that you can integrate it to anything. I'm recently working on a project and I'm connecting my ChatGPT system using Notion and Make is actually an automation tool. But here is what happens at the front end. This application I'm building is, in as much as I'm using my laptop to build it, I want it to use Google Calendar, which is a Google tool, to be able to remind me of all my activities for the day. So that Google AI assistant I'm building is like an online assistant that helps me manage my day. So it tells me at every point using Google Calendar what I'm expected to do, right? So you can integrate it with most business system in the world, and it is scalable for personal and business use. So the beauty of Google tools is you can use them for your personal use, and you can also use them for your business, right? So categories of Google tools. Now, Google tools are basically categorized into five top categories. While Google tools, we have over 40 Google tools, but they are being categorized in five categories, right? They are being categorized into five categories, and the first category we have in here is the productivity and collaboration. So the first thing you must note, or when we are having the conversation of Google tools, is the fact that in Google tools you can use it for productivity and for collaboration. And I remember I said something. I am building an AI assistant that helps me in boosting my daily productivity, right? And then tells me what I need to improve on, and what I need to even do the next day. So, but I'm using a tool, as I remember I said, which is the Google Calendar in this case. But in the thoughts of productivity and collaboration, you can use either the Google Docs, the Google Sheets, the Google Slides, Google Forms, Google Keep, and Google Calendar. So I'm going to be fast because we're actually going to look at each of these two individually, right? So I will just swipe in. But the first one I want you to take note is the first category is that we have the productivity and the collaboration. And in that productivity and collaboration, we have 6 tools in here. And then marketing and SEO. So SEO here stands for search engine optimization. Now, the beauty of Google is it also helps you with your marketing. So if you want to manage your marketing online, then there are Google tools that do this job for you. And the first one we actually have in here is the Google Trends, right? The Google Trends. And the Google Trend, which is in collaboration with Google Keywords, is a kind of tool that allows you to even know what is actually trending right now, or the conversation people are having, and you use it for your business. I use that a whole lot, and it has really helped me and shaping even the way I do marketing. Now we have Google Analytics. Yes, you want to work. I remember telling my assistant something that was last month when we were reviewing our goals for the month, and I told her that I wanted us to hit 1 million views on Facebook. Now, I think we did that. We did 1.1 million views last month, and that is what analytics has to do in here. So it helps you know what is working, what is not working, and what to improve, right? So it helps you with your marketing, you knowing the analytics of your marketing. And then we have the Google Search Console. So this Google Search Console are actually the back end of your website. It's actually a tool that you add to the back end of your website. I'm going to actually show you how it works in a real life situation of that. And then we have Google Ads. So just the way we have Facebook ads, we actually have Google advertisement, where you pay Google to help showcase your business to even more people, right? And then we have the Google Tag Manager. So the Tag Manager is to help you keep tags. So as I said, I'll go as fast as I can because I'm going to explain all of these in key details. So the business management and storage tools. So the third type of category of tools in the Google tools are the business management and storage tools. So these tools helps you to organize, store, and present your business online, making it easier to manage operation and reach out to customers. So for example, you being able to join this class now is through the power of Google Meet. Earlier I just wanted to connect, I want to pay for my Google Meet subscription so that I'll be able to connect it to YouTube, so that we'll not be having this downtime. But as I said, they had a new review of policies, so it helps you manage your business. Then we have the Google My Business, which is now called Google Business Profile. So at the course of this training, maybe I think on Sunday to be specific, I'll be teaching you how to place businesses on Google My Business and earn from it, right? As I said, I said that in the introduction of our video. And then we have Google Sites. You can actually use Google to build websites, sometimes even rather than using Canva, because Canva always looks like PDF. I always would say it is better you use Google Sites, because you can just purchase your domain and connect it together and have your website. So of which I will also show you and teach you how to actually build websites using Google Sites. And then we have the Google Drive. So Google Drive are basically your storage tools. And at the beginning of this video, I remember telling us that Google gives us 15 gig of free storage, and you can always upgrade your storage to, yeah, you can always upgrade your storage into maybe getting a higher version. I think about 100 gig for 2000. And then we have monetization and content creation too. So these tools enables you to create valuable content, grow your audience, and generate income through digital platforms. So on this, we actually have YouTube. YouTube is actually owned by Google. In case you don't know, YouTube is actually owned by Google. And that is why sometimes when I heard a very funny analogy some days ago, where somebody said he is thinking that some Nigerians are actually building a tool that will overcome Google. So if you're actually a developer in here, or you want to be a developer and you want to build the rival of Google, I just want to tell you, one way or the other, it's like you are building something that is already dead on arrival. And I will tell you why, maybe with time. So then we have the YouTube Studio. So the YouTube Studio now allows you to manage those contents you have actually created. So it's more like the back end of YouTube in itself, but it's actually a tool. And then we have the Google Blogger. So the Google Blogger is actually where you have the Google AdSense. So sometimes when you hear people say I'm a blogger and Google is paying me, so it is using this Google Blogger tool that they make out money from. So I believe you actually now understand what the content and monetization tools are in here in Google. And then the last tool that we have is the developers and advanced tools. So these tools empowers you to build custom applications, automate processes, and create scalable digital solutions. So I remembered I told us that Google Tools goes beyond simple tools to advanced tools. And these advanced tools in here now, when we talk about advanced tools, is even in Google Tools, there are actually tools that, okay, so let me just, so even in Google Tools, there are actually tools that allows you to code or build your own processes. And the first one we have in here is the Google Cloud Platform. So the Google Cloud Platforms is also like your hosting provider, where you can actually host your websites, host your softwares, host whatever you want to actually host in there. And the beauty is it's quite very much affordable to even use that, right? But in as much as, again, something I need to add is it's kind of quite complex. In fact, it's even a course on its own. You have to actually learn how to make use of that before you use it. And then we have the Google API Explorer. So these are, if you're actually a developer and you want to use some of the Google applications into your product, you can go in and request for what we call their APIs and make use of them. So remember that we talked about there are 5 there are 5 categories of Google tools, and we said we have the productivity and collaboration tools, we have the marketing and SEO, we have the business management and storage tools, we have the monetization and content tools, and then we have the developer and advanced tools. So these are the 5 categories of Google tools, and if you count all the tools I have called, you know that Google tools are beyond the Google Sheets and Google Docs, Google Forms, and the rest that you use. It's quite very much advanced, and it has a lot of things added into combined together now. So the first thing we're going to actually look at is the Google Docs. So Google Docs are just in there to help you. You use that to document writing. You can use it for your CVs, proposals, blog posts, and etc. So if you already have knowledge of what we call the I'm trying to remember the word. If you know how to use your Microsoft Word, but you know that without your, in as much as I think now you can download Microsoft Word on your phone, if I'm not mistaken, I think so. But Google Docs is like that online version where you get to write your own documents, right? And I actually have the link in here, so you can just come in right in here to see how the interface for Google Doc works. So remember I said that you can use it to write I said you can use it to write your proposals, request resumes. You can use it to write quite a lot of things, even your school projects and the rest. So I've used my Google Docs to do quite a lot of things, and you can see them in here. So for example, in here I have some CVs, I have some, these are proposals and the rest. So you can actually use Google tools for quite a lot of things. You can use them for reports, and the beauty of this stuff is the fact that now Google even gives you, there are certain templates you can use, or you can just use a blank document. Yeah, or you can use a blank document. So I don't know, I had a pop out. Okay, all right. So please, if you have your questions, you can just keep in your questions. So as I said, you can use it strictly, you use this to write your document. So, and the beauty is, all you just need to do is go on https google docs.google.com, and you'll be able to access this. So tomorrow we're actually going to see how to actually use Google Docs, how to actually use some of these things. So I'm not going to dwell most of my time in here, because I just have an hour for this. Actually, for this session I have just an hour. So then we have Google Sheets. Now Google Sheets helps you for data tracking, budget, business reports, and the rest, right? You can even use them. I remember starting out in my career and I was using Google Excel sheets. So in place of Google the Microsoft Excel sheets, we actually have Google Sheets, right? But that first thing I want you to bear in mind is the fact that Google, or most of Google tools are online, while most of Microsoft tools are actually desktop applications you put on your laptop. And most times I prefer to use, in this time and age, I'm not sure I have an offline reader or this thing on my phone. I use my online Google tools for this. Why? Because when you use these tools, be rest assured that none of your application would crash, right? Even if you lost your laptop, you can always access your documents as long as you have your Gmail to that, right? So the Google Sheets in here allows you to do all of that. And I remember at the starting point of my career where I was even using, I think, Google Excel sheets now to do to set up I think school report cards for some schools. So it was fully automated and all that. So, and again, you can go to sheets.google.com to actually access that, right? So we'll look at that again tomorrow. Yes, I'll look at that tomorrow. Then we have the Google Slides. So now Google Slides are the one, or we use it basically for presentation, for pitch deck, teaching slides. So these slides, in as much as, okay, I think this slide I actually used I used Canva for it, right? I just used Canva to do that. But you can actually use your Google Slides to present your presentation. So you have a presentation that you want to have, you can use your Google Slides for it. Again, in details, I will show us actually how to build a very simple pitch deck or presentation deck or whatsoever using Google Slides. So remember, we are talking about some of the basic tools, and also at the end of this session I'll also drop these slides for you to be able to go through it, see the links, and try to play around with it. Then we have the Google Form. So if you actually want to take surveys, lead generation, feedbacks, registrations, and the rest, right, you can make use of your Google Forms. And I love the fact that right now you can integrate your Google Forms even inside of your website. So whether you are coding or WordPress or Webflow or whatsoever application, you can now embed your Google Forms right inside. And again, to access this, you can go to forms.google.com to actually have access to it. So I'll also show us how to create a very simple Google form to take maybe your lead generation or your feedback or whatsoever you want to make use of. And then we have Google Keep. So while some of you might be infusing viruses to your phones by downloading some third-party applications, Google actually have a planner you can use. So I think the reason I don't really use Google Planner is because personally my laptop has a Google Note, and because it syncs directly to my iPad and to my phone down to my laptop. I think that's the top reason why I don't use the Google Keep. But back then when I was using Windows, I used it a whole lot to keep my notes, to do my to do quick ideas, to do quite a lot of things using the Google Keep. So that planner that you are trying to download, you can actually make use of the Google Keep for that. And then now let's head back to the storage part. Remember, we talked about where you have for productivity, and now these are Google tools for storage and business. And I talked about Google Cloud Storage, where I said Google allows you to actually share in your files with clients. So all you just need to do is go to https://drive.google.com, and you are actually going to see all your files. So the moment you have a Google account, you are accessible to have all these tools. So tomorrow, starting from scratch, because I remember that somebody even messaged me and said she does not even have an idea of what Google Drive is. In fact, she doesn't even know what Google is. So, but the Google Drive in here allows you to store things. So rather than the fear of having to lose your phone and all that, you can actually attach it to your Google storage and upgrade it, right? Attach it to your Google storage and share files with your clients, share files wherever you want to, store your files, store your pictures, and the rest, right? Then we have the Google Sites. You can use the Google Sites to create free websites. So if you are starting out and you don't actually have a website and you cannot pay thousands of naira to design your website, you can actually make use of Google to create portfolio websites. I think I remembered years back when I was using Google Sites to even create e-commerce website, and I tell you that it is not about the tool, it is your idea around the tool, right? So it's not about the tool, it is how you intend to make use of the tool. So I'll be teaching us how to actually create websites using Google Sites. So Most importantly, we have the Google My Business. So the least I charge now currently to put businesses on Google is 50,000 for Nigerian brands. And then if you're actually somebody outside Nigeria, because it's quite complex for people outside Nigeria, I charge even more than that. So Google sites are actually the Google map. You get to make use of it if you want to actually go to a location. That ability for you to be able to find that business online is powered by Google Business Profile. So it gives you visibility on the Google search and maps. So we are going to look at Google My Business in details on Sunday. It's even a full course. That's what we'll be looking at on Sunday. Then we have the Google Meet. So the ability for you to actually join this meeting or this class today is being powered by Google Meet. So if you have online meetings, you have video conferencing and the rest, Google Meet is your sure bet, or the sure platform to actually get done with that, right? So for you to be able to attend meetings or to attend meetings or set up meetings online or virtually, you can actually get to use the Google Meet. Then